Hi, how is it going?
Hi, I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm doing great. What's up? Yeah, I'm good. I just finished reading a book about the 2017-18 UEFA Europa League. It was interesting.
Not interested in football. Can we talk
Oh, I
about
know.
something
No,
else?
sorry. Sure. What are you interested in?
I'm interested in learning about farming. Can you help
Oh,
me there?
okay. Yeah, of course. What do you want to know specifically?
Yeah, I would love to know like the basics of farming. Can you
Sure.
help? Can you help?
Yes.
Where do we start?
Well, let's start with the basics. Farming is the act of producing agricultural products, such as crops, livestock, and
Okay,
other food items.
stop. Please stop. Please stop. I
What
know
is
what farming
farming?
is. I know what is
Okay, good.
farming.
Good. But what is agricultural production?
No, I'm not interested in agricultural production. If
Okay.
I want to start with farming, what's a good idea? Where to start? What do I do? Where do I
Well, I
begin?
would recommend starting by reading up on the basics of farming. There are many books and online resources that can provide you with information on the basics of farming.
I've already done that. I already read the
Okay.
basics.
So, what are some of the core skills required to be a successful farmer?
Okay. I would love to know that.
Okay. What kind of farming do you want to focus on?
I want to focus more on growing vegetables and fruits.
Okay, that's good.
Can you offer me any tips?
Sure. One tip is to start small and work your way up.
Any concrete tips?
Okay. Another tip is to consider the market demand for your products.
I'm not planning on selling. It's just for my own personal use.
Okay.
Any tips there?
Yeah, another tip is to be patient and persistent. Farming can take time to get right, so don't give up if things don't go as planned at first.
Okay, let's say as an example, I wanted to grow corn. Like I wanted to grow a cornfield. Where do I start?
Yes.
What is the best
What do I start?
recommendations?
Corn is a complex crop to grow. I would recommend starting with a smaller crop like lettuce or tomatoes.
Okay, let's go with lettuce or tomatoes.
Okay,
That sounds like
that's
a good
great.
idea.
Yeah,
Okay, lettuce. How do we grow
good.
lettuce?
Lettuce is easy to grow. You can start by selecting a suitable location for your garden,
Any specific
preparing the
tips?
soil, and then planting the seeds.
Any specific tips about where to choose? What's the best location and soil?
Well, lettuce prefers well-draining soil, so you want to choose a spot that doesn't get too wet or too dry.
Okay, that sounds like a
Also,
good
make sure the
advice.
soil is not too compacted. That can lead to poor drainage and root rot.
Yeah, I want to learn more about the root rot situation. Can you tell
Okay,
me more?
sure. Root rot occurs when the soil is too wet and doesn't drain properly. It can cause the roots of the plants to rot, leading to poor growth and even death.
Okay, how much should I be growing if I'm a
Lettuce
starter,
prefers
beginner?
a sunny location,
Okay, if I'm a beginner,
but
how
make sure
much
the sun is
lettuce?
not too intense.
Sorry, stop interrupting.
No, it's okay.
How much lettuce should I begin with? Any
You should start
recommendations?
with a small batch of seeds. Start with about 10 to 20 seeds per square meter.
Okay,
And make sure you
and
sow them at a depth of about 1 to 2 centimeters.
how much time should I water them?
Lettuce needs regular watering, but avoid overwatering. Water the plants when the soil is just moist, not too wet or too dry.
Okay,
Water the plants
and
every day or every other day depending on the weather and the soil moisture level.
if it's summertime, is this a good idea?
Yes, it's a great time to grow lettuce. The warm temperatures and long days will help the lettuce grow quickly.
How about tomato?
Tomatoes are another good crop to grow in the summertime.
My tomatoes are withered. What do I do?
Tomatoes prefer a sunny location, but they can also tolerate some shade. Make sure the soil is well draining and fertile. Plant the seeds about 1 to 2 inches deep and space them about 18 to 24 inches apart.
What do I do to promote the tomato plant health?
To promote tomato plants, you can fertilize them with a tomato fertilizer that contains a balanced mix of nutrients.
Can you give me an example of that?
Sure, you can use a fertilizer like ossicote or a mixture of nitrogen, phosphorus, and
Yutai
potassium.
finally releases several Moshi artifacts, including a technical report, weights for Moshi and its Mimi audio codec, along with some streaming inference code in PyTorch, Rust, and MLX. A lot of interesting things were released here, and I'm going to do an overview of that. So, first off, they released this paper. I'm still reviewing this paper, reading through it, and all the details. It's a very, very technical paper. Keep in mind, that they are a company that's open sourcing this technology. There's also a repo here that has more information about the inference and so on, the weights. And then Hugging Face hosts all the different artifacts as well, like the weights and the audio codec. Here is a summary of the paper itself. I'm still going through the paper, as I mentioned, so I might do a separate video on that. I think there are interesting contributions here to the field, especially on the audio codec side, and also this temporal transformer that they're using supports the modeling of the tokens from Moshi, the Moshi agent, and the user as well. And this leads to what they refer to as a full duplex conversational system with overlap, backchanneling, interruptions. They also mentioned something really interesting here, which they mentioned there's no speaker turns anymore. I also found this one interesting. They say that after pre-training on large-scale audio, they create synthetic conversations. So they're using the model to create this data set. And Helium, which is their transformer model, writes the scripts which the multi-stream text-to-speech then converts it into full duplex conversations. So this is an example of it. You can listen to it. I'll provide the link in the description. In total, they created 20K, so 20,000 hours of data with varying recording conditions. That's really important, and accents for the user while keeping the voice of Moshi constant. This makes it robust to noisy environments while making sure Moshi stays in character. And then here are some results on the Helium, Mini, and Moshi. Again, these are the three main components that are proposed in this architecture. And finally, here are some links to the different models. So we have two Moshi models which were adopted from the original demo, and they replaced Moshi's voice with artificially generated ones, one female and one male. Here's the correct link. So I'm going to link this as well in the description box so you can follow and find all the artifacts there. I will do a follow-up video with all the technical details going through the paper. Parpati also made a nice little tweet about this particular release. It says, Moshi is a very nice, fun conversational AI audio model release from Utah Labs. So in case you're losing faith on advanced voice mode, we're still waiting for it. We have Moshi to play around with. This is really cool, right? And you can run it locally if you have Apple Silicon Mac. These are the instructions. You basically just need these two. And he says that he finds Moshi model personality very amusing. It could be abrupt. It says it interrupts. It's a bit rude somehow in a kind of endearing way. It goes off on tangents. It does a lot of that. It goes silent for no reason sometimes. Yes, that's something that I'm noticing with the Moshi model. So it could be a bit confusing when interacting with it. What I will do now is I'm going to play you an example of a conversation that I had with Moshi. I think it was interesting. And in that conversation, you will notice it is a bit abrupt. It interrupts. It's sounds very rude. It goes off tangents. Sometimes it goes silent as well. All of that happens there. Sometimes it can confuse you in the conversation. So there's a lot of work to do. I think data quality is going to be something really important for this type of models. So collecting more high quality data. There were some details about how they collected data in the paper, but I'm still reading that paper. Still don't know much about how they did this, but that I think is really important. And also from the architecture point of view, there's probably a lot more innovation that needs to happen to make these models a bit better and make them more seamless and more realistic. So all of that is coming. I'm very excited about the future, especially for the open source conversational audio models. Thanks for watching. Please consider leaving a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And I'll see you all on the next one.